Good evening, everyone. Look at that woohoo on the screen. Implies that we are live.
That was from earlier.
That was from
Good
earlier.
job that wasn't a dodgy comment.
Yeah, thank you. It's my own comment. That's the safety one. Good to see you all in the chat. It has been a while, Mark, since you and I did
It seems ages.
A proper black box. It has been ages.
Yeah, you're presuming that this is going to be a proper black box, but it'll be a black box of sorts, won't it? Yeah, it's been a while.
It's not a watch along. It's not a late tackle, so it's a proper black
Indeed.
box.
Yeah. We'll do our best to get back into the groove, the old groove. There's a lot to chat about, isn't there?
There's a lot to chat about, and my head is exploding with the amount of different things that are going on.
Yeah, there's a lot of balls in the air, and none of them are certain. We're going to talk about chips, an assistant manager, and all that gubbins. Captaincy is exciting this week, isn't it?
It is. Everyone's talking about captaining someone different, and then everyone's going to go for Salah. That's my prediction.
You think that's what's going to happen?
Most likely, yeah. I mean, are you thinking of?
I want to be brave.
Yeah, so do I.
And I'm leaning towards the same player that we discussed. But yeah, I mean, Salah is ominous in every game, isn't it? I mean, just ridiculous again, isn't it? Like, well, he got 20 points again. It's just expected now, isn't it? Over the double, two double game weeks, he just came in, didn't he? And I don't know.
I mean, it's hard, isn't it? Because we'll talk about captains towards the end of the stream, but you've got the differentials in Mbumo, in a Dango or a Cliver or someone like that. You know, there might be a few going for Isak or players around that, but you've still got to bank on Salah not delivering against a really poor-looking City side. I thought they were awful against Real Madrid, playing players out of position. Stones is injured again. Long balls over the top.
Scary, isn't it?
Are we really going to back against Salah to carry on doing the damage? Yeah, I don't know.
As you need to turn yourself up, apparently. Everyone's saying you're a bit low. Low.
That's a first.
It is. It's normally me, isn't it?
But I'm going to turn you down instead because I think I'm on max. So
okay.
Is that any better?
Turn everybody. Turn your balance up. We're still playing with audio. Mark is the low talker from Seinfeld. Yeah, normally it's me, isn't it? I'm close to the mic, but I can turn myself up, and as can't.
I can't believe they're saying that that I'm the softly spoken one today.
No. We've got Arsenal player on the poster. We're talking about Arsenal tonight, aren't we?
We are indeed.
A little bit.
We are indeed. Yeah, we've got a 4.5. Okay, it's 4.6 now, but a 4.5 million option from a top side. Whenever that happens, it's normally quite good. Is he on your radar?
He is. We got him in, didn't we, in sleeper in the draft game?
Did we get rid of him though?
We got him really early because as soon as Saka got injured, I said, "Oh, we're getting Waneri." So can't pronounce it now.
Isn't it Waneri? Isn't it
Waneri?
Waneri.
The
you don't pronounce. Yeah.
Waneri. That's it. And then we got rid of him just as he breaks into the team and starts getting points, didn't we? In the draft, we're not very good at that draft game, are we?
No. Although we got Marmouche in, so that was something. I think we're like mid-table in the content creators draft, so
I think that's being kind. But anyway,
I think we'll take that.
But Waneri is definitely an option, and we're going to look at the data around him. And when you look at the data, it becomes even more of an option, I think. So we'll do a quick comparison of the Arsenal mid because that is relevant, I think, to what's going on. Because a lot of people, if they own Rodgers, will be probably getting rid, if not this week, then before game week 29 because of the blank for Villa. In game week 29, and that really is the focus at the moment. Now that the assistant manager chip is played for quite a few people, for me, it's now all about transfers ahead of game week 29, and I guess for you as well, right?
Yeah, it's funny, isn't it? We did the stream obviously last week with the assistant manager chip, but we didn't do our normal stream when everything dropped, so we didn't talk about what we're going to be doing and all the people that have triple captained over assistant manager, how happy they'll be, and then the vice versa of that. And I was putting together the chip strategy going forward. If you're a lucky person who's got all their chips left, it is a minefield trying to work out what's going to go where. So I think I think the general consensus is unless your team is royally screwed, try and get to game week 30 without using any wildcards or free hits or anything, and then that's the time to use it. But there'll be teams out there with one free transfer and like 8 players out. It's
they've got a free hit.
Yeah.
I was listening to Planet FBL, and I think Sudge is in that situation. I think he's got 8. He'll have 8 players out, and obviously there's only 3 or 4 transfers now before game week 29. I looked at my situation today, and I'm all right. I think I should get 11 out and have 1 extra transfer to make a what I would call a vanity transfer, and I'm
Mm.
not sure that vanity transfer is going to be getting rid of Slot with the assistant manager chip for game week 26. I think I'm probably just going to sit on him and use that extra
Sit
transfer
on
ahead
him.
of game. Sit on Slot,
Nice.
and take him to Man City. But we are going to look at the alternatives for those who are either in their last week of the assistant manager chip
Yep.
or perhaps on their second week, having played it in 25, of course.
Yep.
And if you did, you probably triple captain Salah in 24, and I hate you.
Yeah. Well, I think Harry avoided the assistant manager, didn't he? He used the triple captain on Salah. And then he avoided Emery, went for Watkins. And I remember everyone thinking, oh, surely he's going to use the assistant manager. No, went for Watkins. He matched Emery anyway and Slot. And then he's got the assistant manager to use. But again, it's a minefield from where to use it from 30. I'm kind of glad we got it out of the way, if anything.
Yeah, I think that's how I feel about it. And I think that, I'm on, 28 points with Slot at the moment. And so if he beats Man City, he's going to be in the mid-30s, which is kind of, if you just said at the start what you want from the chip, mid-30s would be lovely, wouldn't it? So,
yeah. I think that's isn't that exactly what we said when we looked at how many points they would have got throughout the season, and we kind of thought, okay, it's about 30, 40 points. It would probably be quite decent.
Yeah.
I mean, what's the best you could have done? You could have had Moyes and then Hurtsler, right?
I don't want to look at that, because if you look at that, you just feel miserable. So, yeah, the best you could have done, I think, was Moyes to Emery, I think, is on what? I think 32 points, maybe 30. It's only 4 or 5 ahead of Slot. It's not massively ahead of Slot.
Yeah.
So.
I'm just going to let the dog out and say he's clawing at the door, bless him.
There you go.
There we go. Live dog.
Yeah, so I don't really want to look at what I could have won, Jim Bowen style. Really, that's one for the old guys and girls. Because I think that'll just torture me really to see what I could have. And I was quite happy playing it on Slot and saving the transfers, and I think that's key. If I don't use a transfer on Slot in 26, I've saved 2 transfers, and I think that could be very useful ahead of game week 29. So.
Yeah, because there'll be people who are going Moyes to Slot and then to Glasner potentially, or Moyes to Emery and then to Glasner. And like you say, that's 2 transfers used. And then if your team isn't in great shapes for 29, yeah, interesting one. But yeah, before we get into anything else, let's talk about our sponsor for this week's episode. It's been a while since we did one of these. But look at that, Mark. The ultra smooth package. Look at that.
I have been running wild and free because it's been so long since we visited Manscaped.
Oh my God.
But yes, we're back with our favourite sponsor.
Your t-shirt's very ultra smooth.
Ah, yes.
today.
I need to mention this. This is the game behind the game, which was designed by a Greek graphic designer for the FPL Greece organisation, the FPL Greece community. And I met Babis and the guys from FPL Greece on Sunday. They came to Horsham and they interviewed me for their documentary they're making. And they went to Stockley Park to interview folk on the FPL show. I think Praz and Gianni and a bit of Kelly as well. And they also interviewed the founder of Fantasy League, which was the first fantasy game, of course. So look out for that documentary when it goes out. I think it's being published early April. There's a bit of me rambling in it and a bit of Gianni, a bit of Praz as well. But it's going to be really good. They interview about the history of fantasy and the role I played in the early days with Scout and so on. It was really good. And they bought me pudding. I had Sunday lunch there and they bought my pudding. So that was very nice. I didn't know they bought me pudding until I went to pay. And then the barmaid said, oh, yeah, your pudding has been paid for by... And the whole family were there. They bought puddings for all of them. So.
You got to talk about your history and, have people who actually care about it. And you got bought a free pudding.
Yeah, and also the pub were wondering, who's this guy being interviewed with all these cameras in the pub? And it was like...
And you felt like a celebrity as well. Wow.
Yeah, and I made Pip and the family turn up and witness it as well. And we had Sunday lunch after. So, but this T-shirt, very smart. Should have got one for you, wouldn't it? Shouldn't I? I'll ask him for one for you. I'll ask him for one.
I mean, we've gone off on a massive tangent because we were talking about Manscaped, but it's important to talk about that shirt. I want to mention the Ultra Smooth package because this is the newest bundle that Manscaped are doing. I think this is something we haven't actually mentioned yet, which is the crop shaver. So you got your ball shaver, which is obviously the electronic thing.
Where's the crop shaver go?
Well, this is like a manual. This is when you want to get really close to the grain. you know.
Okay. Right. I see.
So if you're not happy with the slight stubbly feeling that you get from the electric one, then this is the one that scares me a little bit.
Oh,
You
I
know.
see. Yeah.
But you can also use it for other areas. If you're swimming, for example, and you want to shave your underarms or kind of other body hair areas. This is the one for you. So if you want to get smooth, use the code BlackBox at the checkout. You get 20% off and free shipping. And look at this. Here's some reasons for using the ball shaving equipment. Hygiene, obviously, better for you to not have the hair down there trapping burnt and sweat.
Yeah.
Better for your appearance. 8 out of 10 partners say they prefer a shaved nether region mark.
I won't survey anyone close to me on that one. But, yeah.
And confidence, like you going on and doing FPL Greece. Think how confident you would have been.
Yeah.
Had we done that for a few weeks before.
Yeah, had I been freshly shaved, I probably would have performed better in that interview, but never mind. I did my best. So,
amazing stuff. So if you're interested, as I said, go to manscaped.co.uk, use our code BlackBox at checkout, and you get 20% off and free shipping. Right, should we talk about game weeks? You've clawed your way ahead of me the last few weeks.
That's you, isn't it? That's 98 points for you.
Yeah, this is me, 98. We'll come on to yours in a minute. You obviously got a higher score than me this week and last week as well. Chris Wood is killing me week in, week out. I obviously haven't got him in my team. I mean, I got 98 without him. I bought in Kuna and benched him, and I got him off the bench for Ahmad.
Oh, did you? I didn't notice that. Oh. Because I was like thinking, why didn't you play Kuna when you got him in the team anyway?
There.
Wow.
Yeah. I was really, I didn't know what I was doing with my transfers this week. And in the end, I went for Kuna and benched him. I'd been talking about Dango all week, and then Gakpo went and got injured. So I felt like I had to get rid of him. When I took him out, then obviously I had the Liverpool slot for slot. So I did that. I should have done Gordon to Dango as well and been a bit ahead of the curve for a change, but I kept Gordon. And he didn't do so well. So yeah, it's Pickford, Gabriel, Robinson, Trent, Salah captain with another massive haul. Rodgers, Palmer, Gordon, Kuna, Isak, and Visser, who had 2 goals disallowed and missed an open goal and got 2 points.
That. Wow. Yeah, I would say unlucky, but as it's you. Yeah. No, it was unfortunate. There's no doubt. Yeah, I mean, handy player to own because I think he's going to be a little bit of a differential for 29 because I don't think 3 hitters will go there.
Well, the issue's been I went for Visser over Wood.
Right.
And it was one of those classic moves where I thought I like Visser's like 2 or 3 fixtures, and then whatever happens, I'll move to Wood after that because I don't want to be without him. And then obviously you get other injuries. The double game week announcement drops. You know, we're using assistant manager chips and transfers, and suddenly all that gets parked, and then Wood goes and scores 28 points in 2 weeks, and Visser blanks in both, and then it looks like an absolute disaster. So
it does.
Really disappointing.
Chris Wood had like 1 shot at Fulham and scored it.
Don't. I was listening to it on the radio, and then they just said Fulham have been absolutely dominant. Forest haven't had a kick, and now Woods just turned into like Ronaldo up front and turned players. And smashed.
It was ridiculous. Gibbs White knocked a long, hopeful ball. He brought it down, and Robinson slipped, and then in one motion he kind of cut the ball back and then just stroked it in the corner. It did take a deflection, but it's like every shot he takes is going in. It's like,
and then he gets free bonus as well. Because he hasn't done anything, he hasn't lost the ball.
No, because he never doesn't. No. It's like if we get, I would say, like if we get him another chance, we'll probably win the game. Obviously, we didn't, and Fulham won the game, and deservedly so. But it is the case that when you watch Forest now, you just think, just give him 1 chance, and he'll probably score. He's that deadly at the moment.
Yeah, and I was at FPL Family's house with Yelena, me, Sam, and Lee. I was the only one in the house not to have Chris Wood. That was always really fun. And then it was like, and Visser's scored. Oh, and it's been disallowed. Oh, and Visser's scored again. Oh, it's been disallowed. Lovely stuff.
What a shame. Wish I'd have been there. Sounds an enjoyable experience.
This is your team. You outscored me by a massive 6
104.
points.
Yeah. Pickford with the 3. Okay. Gabriel 6. Munoz 1. Trent with the 13. Goal and the clean sheet. Can't complain about that. Was a bit of a differential. I think only about 60% owned around where I was ranked. So very handy. Palmer, incredibly disappointing again. Chelsea dropping off a cliff and Palmer with them. Semenyo, just the 4 points, got the assist. He was a transfer in. Salah 40, Dango 7 was my transfer in for Gordon the week before. Rodgers the 4 points. from the 2 appearances. Isaac 2 and then Chris Wood 9, and then slot on the bench where the assistant manager should be with the 13, which, in hindsight, I could have used a transfer to get Emery, who got 15, but then it would have been the transfer and then one less for Gameweek 29, as we said. So I'll probably stick with slot. I think they can beat Man City. And we'll look at our teams at the end in terms of transfers and captains, won't we?
I mean, we've got eight players the same and the same assistant manager. It's not the most exciting it's ever been, and you're about 50 points ahead of me with a triple captain left.
Oh yes, you haven't got the triple captain.
No, so you've pulled away. I made up about 60 points, and
Chris Wood has done for you, hasn't he?
Chris Wood has really. I mean, if I'd had Chris Wood over Visser, and like I said, there'd probably only be about 20 points between us.
Yeah, and the thing is, I don't deserve his points because I was late getting to him, and really by rights, the minute I got him, he should have dropped off a cliff like Palmer, but he hasn't. He's got me 4 goals in 3 game weeks, I think. So I can't complain, can I?
No, that's pretty good. I haven't got any great the good stuff. I did see. Greyhead sent it over, but I didn't have time to put it in.
I've updated it. If you've got the screen, it should be updated in the screen, shouldn't it?
I also don't have the screen.
Oh, okay. Never mind then.
I can put it in.
Yeah, it's all right. I did drop it into Dropbox if you want to put it in
there. No, I can't for now.
We're basically Fabio Borges in the sandwich. Basically, it's me and you, with Fabio Borges in the middle.
He had a shocker week, didn't he? Didn't he get like 60
He was
points
the
or
only red.
this week?
I think only 2 reds in the entire Great and the Good. Him and Fran.
Okay. Well, Fabio Borges struggling. I think people need to see it.
Fabio won't thank you for that, will he? So.
You definitely did this before I put it in.
Yeah, great one. It's called. Yeah, there we go. That's it. There we go. Yeah. So only 2 reds in the entire league, Fran and Fabio, and we are. Yeah, there's the gap.
There's the sandwich.
47 points. Yeah.
Decent week then for the Great and the Good.
Everyone got a green, didn't they?
Yeah, everyone but Fran and Fabio. And Fabio getting the lowest score. I mean, that is a rare sight.
All the Salah captains, of course, with a double. We haven't really got the assistant managers on there, but Praz took a -8 and came out of a green. I mean, that's great, isn't it?
Yeah, good on him. Yeah. What's your
Harry
target?
at the top, because everything he does turns to gold. So target, well, I'm 140k. I've still got to think about 10k, haven't I, as the target? It's probably unlikely, but it's not impossible from 140k. Everything's got to go well, though. So we'll have to see. It's difficult. I think I'm in that spot now. When you get to where I am, you're in that spot where you're just going to go up and down in rank, probably week to week. Small reds, small greens. So I imagine I'm going to be stuck up with this rank for a long time unless I do something a little bit crazy that happens to come in. So I think I'm unlikely to get into the top 10k from here, because I think these days it's very hard once you get to around 100k to jump to make an impression. But we'll see. There's more chips to come, more double game weeks. Who knows?
I mean, Kuna's 9 points off the bench took me from a red arrow, I think 500, around 500k, up to 430. And I was thinking, wow, 9 points is like 70k's worth of rank. That's massive.
Yeah, but he was a differential. That's why.
Yeah.
You know?
Oh no, he
so
was.
You've got
anyone had him, but still, it's assuming no one else gets any points. 9 points can do you like 70k at this level. But my point is, I think at 100k, it wouldn't be. You're not going to get a percentage rank like that. I don't think.
I think if you get players like Kuna who are still kind of lowly owned around that rank, and that's what you want. But it's just like, how brave are you going to be with that? It's like this week, like if I don't go Salah captain and I go someone like Dango, which we're discussing, and it comes in, then I can get a 20-30k increase. But if I don't, and then I, if I go Salah, then it's likely I'm going to get a small green or a small red, probably.
Yeah, and I mean, you talk about bravery. I mean, there is a lot of the bravery comes into what we're doing with this assistant manager chip. Like you said, I think we all knew that game week 26 was going to be difficult to try and get this table bonus. So on the screen now is an amazing graphic from Rob T. FPL, provides us loads of great spread betting stuff and different odds and things like that. The 100% relate to the table bonus. So obviously we know who are going to have those ahead of game week 26, and it's a pretty sorry lot. Let's be honest. It's I'm going to do the teams rather than the managers. It's Southampton, it's West Ham, it's Ipswich, it's Leicester, it's Palace, and it's Wolves. Is there anyone on there that you would even consider rolling the dice on?
Yeah, I mean, you didn't mention. Did you mention Ipswich? McKenna at home to Spurs.
I said it.
Right, okay. I think McKenna at home to Spurs is the one that I would go with. I saw Fulham last week. And a lot of their supporters are saying that's the best they've played all season. And we're going to look at the data later. I think they're top over the last 6 for defence. And they could have scored several goals against Forest. If it wasn't for Matt Sells, who made 8 saves, they would have beaten us by a bigger margin. I don't think Palace are going to get anything at Fulham myself. I don't think Palace are good enough to keep Fulham out. And I don't think Fulham are conceding many goals. So unless you've got the variance of Chris Wood in your team, who seems to score from everywhere. But yeah, I think Fulham will win that game. Whereas Ipswich at home to Spurs, I know Spurs are on a mini revival. I do think they're still soft and could be got at. And I think like a determined Ipswich performance could turn them over. So I think McKenna would be the way I would go if I was rolling the dice. But I don't think it's compelling enough to spend a transfer and go off slot to go to McKenna.
No, that's it. It's if you think we'd be potentially spending 4 points to take away Slot, who, if they win, is going to get somewhere between 8 and 10. So you'd need 12 points from the ass man, and then
I wasn't calling it that.
They could lose, and then you'd get 0, and then you're massively down. I just don't think. I mean, of course, the flip could happen. Liverpool could lose to Man City. I just don't see that happening, though. The way Man City are, I just can't see them winning that game.
And the thing is, that extra transfer, who's to say the player you bring in with that transfer is not going to get you 10, 15 points? Could do, right? So I think transfers at this time are so precious that I just do not think it's worth rolling the dice on.
I guess you just use it as a free hit, for want of a better term, in the sense that it's going to cost me 4 points. I'm going to go for the 21 potential and hope that Man City get something against Liverpool, because if I think most people are going to have it on either Emery or Slot at this stage. There's not going to be many else out there. Both of those games in theory could go either way. 2 draws wouldn't be a massive surprise. If you did gamble and go for a Glasner or Jurich, this is typical Brighton. How typical of Brighton would it be to absolutely blow Chelsea away and then go and draw with Southampton?
Yeah, that could happen. Yeah.
Wouldn't surprise me in the slightest. But are you really going to use a transfer to go off Slot to Jurich? Or
I don't think so. I mean, if you're sitting here with 4 free transfers in the bank, then yes, you are. You go for it, because you don't need to worry about game week 29. But equally, I look at it and go, no, I'd rather have one extra option for game week 29, because that extra option for game week 29 could be me bringing in Mamouche or Kuna or someone who could really make a difference. So yeah, I don't think I'll do it.
I mean, the safest option here is Arteta, isn't it? Like if you've got if you've got a spare transfer and you want to put yourself in the best position for some points, I think you do Slot or Emery to Arteta. If you've got Moyes, it's a shame Moyes isn't eligible for the table bonus. You'd think a home game against Man U, that'd be a perfect one, but Man U have been so poor. It's not the case.
Yeah, I mean, if City were in a better shape, then I would consider going to Arteta. But I just think that Liverpool can go at City and win.
Yeah.
And I think, in a way, the fact they didn't beat Villa means they can't afford to drop points at City. They're going to go for it. And I think that any team going to the Etihad with any form of threat up front is going to score goals against City. And Liverpool have got considerable threat. So if it wasn't a must-win game for Liverpool, and I think they will see it as that now they've drawn at Villa, then I'd be tempted to move off and go to Arteta. But I don't see Liverpool slipping up there. I think they can beat them.
I mean, it's interesting seeing Emery and Moyes so low down on this, because obviously Emery's going to be popular from last week. There's people I know who missed the deadline last week and so still have it on Moyes, and they've obviously got a decision to make. The betting doesn't seem to like particularly those 2 teams. So I guess those 2 would be ones where you're more likely to switch it for a McKenna or a Glasner.
Yeah, Emery's 37% for the win in game week 26. And Slot's 40% for the win. They're ordered in with the 26 and 27 points combined here. So if you're just playing for the 1 week, if you played it in 24, then you've only got to worry about game week 26.
Ah, right. Okay, got it.
Yeah, so Emery's at 37% for the win, which is still below Slot. But it is above McKenna, who's 26, and it is above Glasner, who's 25. So, it's definitely safer to stay on Emery than it is to go off and try and back a table bonus manager.
Yeah.
But it's about, if you've got lots of free transfers left, I think it is worth rolling the dice. I think it is. But
I love stats like this from Cole Bugler. Last time Fulham beat Palace at home in the Premier League was 20 years ago. ... To be fair, that's only 6 games.
I mean, as I said, Fulham look really good against us. I mean, as well, I think like Fulham have probably still got certainly got a Europa League place to chase, if not more than that. So they've got every incentive to beat Palace. I don't think that it's a dead rubber by any means. Whereas Palace will go there, they've got little to play for really. They're not in trouble, and they can't. I don't think they can push on beyond much where they are now. So the onus is on Fulham to win that, and I think they do win it. And like Marco Silva, look, 47% for the win. So that tells you, the odds.
I mean, I personally prefer Glasner over McKenna.
Do you?
It sounds like you'd go the other way if you were gonna roll.
Yeah, it's just a home fixture.
Yeah,
and I do think Ipswich have got a surprise in them. They went to Villa and drew, didn't they, with 10 men? So
I just don't like the idea of using it on a team like that, and then they lose 3-0, and you go, oh yeah, obviously,
yeah,
it's Ipswich. I remember.
Yeah, I guess so. I guess it's harder to front that one up if it goes wrong, isn't
exactly.
it?
Exactly. Yeah. Chip planning, how's that going for you?
Nothing changed really. I mean, we had the double in 32 drop in. The Newcastle Palace game, which we didn't expect to drop in there. And I think that was another reminder that we can plan all we like, but there still could be some surprises in store. I mean, even Ben Crellin, who's all over this, is saying that he's
rattled.
He's not sure beyond game week 32, is he? So he knows up to there, but there's still uncertainty about the size of the doubles and the blanks based on the FA Cup. So we'll know a bit more after this game week, because obviously the next round of the FA Cup is played, and we'll have the draw for the quarters, and that will tell us a lot more about who's likely to make the semis and therefore miss games and have doubles. So we'll have that bit more. But sitting here right now, my strategy is still very much free hit in 34, with the wild card probably played in 30.
Yeah.
So I will dead end into 29, wild card in 30 to get on the fixture swings, and then bench boost in 33 probably. Triple captain in 36 probably, but those two could swap round. Obviously, it makes sense to bench boost closer to the wild card because you can use the wild card to plan for it, and that's always a good tactic. But what am I expecting from my bench boost? Really, I don't know. I mean, you're never going to get 30 from your bench boost, are you? Let's face it.
It's funny, isn't it? Because bench boosts in the past, if you don't click them accidentally after about 10 game weeks, they've always felt.
I wasn't going to mention that.
They've always felt fairly. It's been fairly obvious where to play them. I felt, like you've got you play your wild card, you then bench boost pretty soon out of that, so you can capitalise on the spreading the money around your squad, and then you move players out of it. Whereas I look at this, and like I said, if you've got all your chips, I think it's really hard to know when to use the bench boost, particularly if you're going to be playing all your chips in that like 9 game week spell between game week 30 and 38. That's, you got your 3 assistant managers, your triple captain, your free hit, and your bench boost all to you.
Yeah.
That's 7 out of 9 game weeks you've got to work
I'm
out.
glad I've got the assistant manager.
Yeah, so am I.
Yeah, because it ties up the 3 game weeks, which is never a good thing, I don't think. So that's really, I think that is the best situation to be in, to go into this period without the assistant manager. If you haven't, if you played a triple captain, then obviously I think playing it 35 to 37 is probably the optimum, but very hard to say until we have the fixtures.
Yeah, and that is the key thing. I mean, what is interesting about this set of fixtures from 32 to 37 is that we know that those doubling will then be immediately going into a blank.
Yeah,
which I don't think we've seen before. It's normally the other way around, isn't it? A team blanks and then they rearrange the fixture a bit later on. They seem to be doing a bit more pre-planning this year, which they haven't done. Which is, well, we know that there's going to be teams that blank, so we're going to move it, forward rather than backwards. I mean, I try to work out who's likely to be doubling and who isn't. It is so difficult to predict. I mean, I'd be pretty confident that Man City against Plymouth are going to go through. And they'll end up with that double game week in 33, which means I think if you're wildcarding in 30, potentially going for Haaland might be back on the menu because there might be a double game week for him. There's pretty good fixtures from 30 as well. So that is why I quite like using the wildcard in 30 because it's going to let you move back to... to
Because
him.
City have got Leicester at home, and they're likely to have a double in 33.
That's it. Might even be the double up with Marmoush as well. Use 2 spots if you really want to attack it. And then the free hit, like you say, the free hit's going to protect you for one of those blank game weeks. When if you do load up on City, for example, at least you can free hit the next week and not have to deal with all of those problems. If you can get through 29 without free hitting, I just really, really strongly suggest that's what you.
Yeah, I think so.
Do. Even if you need to take I'd say a -8.
Take a -4 at least.
-4,
Definitely,
-8.
definitely take a -4, wouldn't you?
Yeah, -4, -8. You'd be like, okay, if you're moving into the -12s, then maybe that's when you need to think about it. I'm still a bit scarred by the free hit 29 last year.
Oh yeah. I mean, the thing is, when you said that you're confused and you try to work it out, I don't know why you try to work it out, because if you go to Ben Crellin's account and he's going, I'm not sure, you just leave it there, don't you? Because you're not going to sit there and go, well, Ben might not be sure, but I'm going to crack it. You never. There's no point.
I have to say, shout out to FPL Mate who did a great video on double game weeks and permutations. Did some really nice graphics as well. So yeah, obviously Ben Crellin is the goat of all this, and follow him and check his updates. But also check out that video from FPL Mate as well. I thought that was really good. Right, should we look at some stats?
Lovely.
Defense is an interesting one, because I was talking to Sam on the Q&A earlier, and I said to her, if you were buying a defender this week, who would you go for? I think Kirkes is the obvious one.
Yeah.
Bournemouth are 6th on the list. They've got good fixtures to come. Outside of that, what teams are we invested in? Arsenal were top, Liverpool were 2nd, Fulham in 3rd for defence over the season as well. So I guess if you haven't got Robinson, maybe he's one to consider.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think defensive transfers are worth doing unless it's Kirkes. Like, you make them ahead of 29 because you can go Vardy or Aït-Nouri.
Yeah.
And they have good fixtures in 29. And so I would say that unless you have to, you just leave your defence alone. I've got Lewis Hall, and I'm probably just going to hold him. I might even play him this week against Forest. I mean, he might well go, either him or Trent or both will probably go before game week 29, but I don't think I'm going to make defensive transfers till then. If I was going to make one before game week 29, it would be Kirkes. Yeah, it would be.
You had him for ages, and then you never played him, and then sold him.
He's my Leif Davis, isn't he? Like, you did the same.
I've still got him.
Yeah, I know. He's on your bench.
Oh god.
Yeah, I mean, this is the season data, isn't it? I mean, it's interesting when you look at this, how far Forest have dropped when you look at the last 6. Look, Forest have gone from 4th to 14th.
Yeah.
In this table, which has me worried ahead of Newcastle. If you've held Isak this long and thought maybe I should have got Watkins, don't know. I think Isak probably scores against Forest, to be fair.
But I've still got Gordon somehow, and looking at this data, when I saw this chart, I was thinking, okay, that's not the end of the world. Hopefully they're 2 teams that lost their way a little bit after obviously such impressive performance. I mean, it was only a few weeks ago you beat us 7-0. Fair enough. I'm just looking at that one as a complete anomaly. Like, that was just a ridiculous freak result that we'll never talk about ever again. But
we won't. I won't mention it ever again.
Outside that, scraping through in the cup, poor performance against Fulham, thrashed by Bournemouth as well. You're in a bit of a mini dip.
A little bit. I think that we'll probably revert back to 4 at the back at Newcastle and hopefully be back to full strength, which is our 11 is good, but we've obviously lost a couple with injury recently, but I think we'll have them back when we go to Newcastle, and that will make a difference to the balance of the team. Hopefully that'll make us a bit more solid. But yeah, I think also having midfield options, Danilo and Sengawi back fit, has meant that Nuno's kind of switched it up a bit rather than stick to what he knew, and that's probably done more harm than good.
I mean, look at Brighton in 3rd, and that includes the 7-0 over the last 6.
Yeah. So average wise, that was definitely an outlier. Fulham at the top, which is why, if you're backing Glasner to go to Palace and get a win, it's going to be very difficult against a team which they're just not conceding chances at the moment to any team, and I can vouch for that because Forest really struggled to create much against them at all. So yes, I mean Spurs at the bottom there, which is why I'm backing Ipswich to maybe get a result. But I still think, even though they've had a revival, they're still there to be got at. Yeah, conceding 3 big chances a game, that's a lot. And while Ipswich, if you look at the attacking data, are bottom, I still think they can score a couple against Spurs.
Nice link. Do you want the season or last 6?
Last 6.
Last 6. Okay. They are bottom. Good knowledge, Mark. It's almost like you put these together. Interesting that City are top of this.
It is.
Marmouche, hat-trick, Haaland dropping deep, playing almost Harry Kane type role to allow Marmouche to push forward. Wasn't in the squad, was in the squad, but didn't come on against Madrid, suffering, said he couldn't walk or was having difficulty walking or something like that. Not sure if he's going to be back for Liverpool. They obviously want him to be. What do you think about Haaland versus Marmouche? Because that's a decision we're going to be making on the wild card in 30. I guess if you are wildcarding, it's going to be tempting to go for Haaland because you're able to spread the funds around. Whereas if you're not, it's much easier just to be able to grab Marmouche.
Yeah, I mean, that'd be really interesting. I think we've got some games to make up our mind. I mean, Marmouche even for 29 could be an option because you haven't got to break the bank to get him in. And people are saying that maybe you sell Palmer for 29. I don't think many will be selling Salah, but yeah, Palmer being sold could give you the option to go to Haaland, but maybe if you keep Palmer, you can get to Marmouche easy. You should be able to. He's half the price. So, I mean, I'm looking with my transfer this week, and if I got Wanyeri in, it would give me the money to go Delap to Haaland, I think. It'd give me the money to go Isak to Haaland, right? So
say Delap to Haaland seems like a big upgrade.
Isak to Haaland could be an option I go for, but do I want to do that? Do I want to, I think Isak I'd lose about 0.5 on that, and then I want Isak back for the doubles anyway in 33. So, yeah, I mean, I think Marmouche is going to be popular if he gets another couple between now and game at 29. I think he's going to be the preferred option because of the money and what you're able to do with that. Why not? Haaland's got penalties and we know how elite he is, but Marmouche hasn't come in to not score goals, and I think he will.
Yeah, I mean, you've obviously got Isak, who people are going to be reluctant to lose. You've got Chris Wood, who everyone but me seems to own. So obviously they're two that are pretty set. But that third spot is open. Is pretty open. I mean, obviously João Pedro was very popular by a lot of content creators and then everyone, but he's been. I mean, we'll see his stats. He's bottom of the stats for forwards.
Is he?
Yeah, right. which is crazy.
When the eye test and the stats collide, basically.
That's it. Yeah. I mean, you've got Mateta, who's obviously been absolutely brilliant. For anyone who bought him a few weeks ago as well. Idiots like me who've got Vista. I mean, I'm not going to have any. I'd happily swap him for Marmouche. I think in game week 30.
Well, they're at Bournemouth, aren't they? That's the thing. In game week 29, Brentford are at Bournemouth, which is not an easy game. So even though you're looking at Wissa and going, well, he plays in 29, yeah, but he's playing at Bournemouth, who are a decent side. So Brentford's data, though, very strong here, aren't they?
Yeah, I've triggered a few people talking about JP. Sorry about that. But Bournemouth shot really well in sixth, and we're loading up on attacking assets, trying to work out which is the best one. I'm half tempted to go for Kluivert because he's the only one of the three main ones that you don't know. And typically it was Christie, wasn't it? Who's the one who's the big scorer in the last week, the one that no one was, was considering.
It's nice having a couple of Bournemouth assets though, because every time they score, you think, well, you've got to get something, and that's exactly what happened.
Yeah.
Dango got a goal, Semenyo got an assist, and it's like they are sharing the love, aren't they?
Yeah. Neither of us own Mbeumo.
No, I could change that this week, and it is on my mind. But I want to have a look at the last six midfielders to see where he is in that, because I mean Sharda's the sexy pick there. Mbeumo less so. Okay, so this is last six, is it? Is Mbeumo highlighted in any way? He's not even in. He's not on there.
He's not even in the top 30.
No. This season or last six?
This is last six.
Right. Yeah. Nor Sharda though, to be fair, is he? No.
Carvalho's there.
Yeah, I mean, you see the Bournemouth mids are there. Dango's there in 13th.
Oh wait, maybe this is season, isn't it? It's 2000.
Yeah, that is season. You got the wrong one there. Yeah, drag last six in. Yeah. I'm pretty sure Sharda should be in there for last six.
Hang on. I can't even blame you for this one.
Salah's not got 24 goals in the last six. He's done well.
Would it surprise anyone? It might be this one if it's not money to grab a new one from the thing.
Yeah, that's more like it.
That looks a bit better than that. Jota's still top.
Yeah. But Sharda's there 20th, and he's in the top 10 for touches in the box, shots per 90, shots in the box per 90.
And then Bumo's 8th, so ignore us. He is definitely in the top. So he's not in there over the season, but he's in there for the top 8.
Yeah, well, because Brentford's attacking data has been high, right? We saw it's second in terms of XGI.
Come on, guys, says Brian. I'm so sorry, Brian. I'm really trying.
This is what we said, Brian. I did say, Brian, when Az said we're doing a back to a regular black box. He's like, well, yeah, an impression of. You know.
Oh, come on, guys, get your head to go, get your head in the game, guys.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know about him, Boomer. I'm not his biggest fan. I always look for excuses.
You're not his biggest fan. I didn't know that.
Yeah, he's got penalties. He's a great player. It's just that role he plays that, but he always finds a way, doesn't he? And the data here is very, very convincing, of course. Yeah, but when Yeri is there, who we're going to talk about in a minute, he's 10th on 0.54, and Arsenal have got the better fixture in 29, I would say, at home to Chelsea, whereas Brentford at Bournemouth. I think Wanyeri is tempting me more than a Brentford midfielder.
I think there's actually quite a lot to talk about on this chart, which is nice, given that we are doing a stream. I mean, some of the things that I noticed on here are Palmer still showing up quite well in 7th. It's not like his XG on over 90 has completely dropped off a cliff. Although having watched the Brighton game, I thought he was absolutely awful in that game. That's the worst performance I've seen from Palmer.
And he was coming deep a lot as well, wasn't he?
Yeah, but he wasn't even that effective when he was doing that. I don't know. He wasn't really making things happen. He wasn't making the runs into the box that he normally makes afterwards.
He's not that devastating player that he has been.
Exactly.
At time.
That's a very good way of looking at it. Yeah, he did. I didn't fear him at all in that game, which is a far cry from when he scored 4 goals against us in the in the reverse fixture.
Yeah.
Interesting that Salah's so low down in 18th. Even though
he is
literally scoring every week. That's some of the worst XG on penalty per 90 I've seen from him since he's been in the league.
Yeah. No, you're right.
And yet he's got 9 attacking returns.
Yeah. It's extraordinary, isn't it? And he's in the top 10 for all those key performance indicators there. Touches in the box, shots per 90. Even chances created, he's in the top 10 for as well. So, but the quality of his chances he's been getting has been low, but then he's been scoring regardless. And we know he's capable of that. So, yeah, you can't read anything into that, really, I don't think. No one's selling him, I don't believe.
I think we'd be quite brave to be selling him at this point.
Well, I mean, people might think about it for 29 for Haaland, isn't it? But I just think that.
No way.
I mean, they don't have a double, of course, right? They don't have a double again. And looking at the fixtures from game week 30 onwards, you're not going to catch him very often because the double game weeks are there. So I can see the merits in not captaining him, but not owning him. I mean, that's just really opening yourself up to that EO is brave. If there was a convincing argument, to do it, then maybe. But is selling him to get Haaland a convincing argument? Surely you sell Palmer in the wild card and you do something else. I would have thought, but
I mean, I've got Mane up on the wall because towards the back end of the season years ago, I sold Salah for Mane, and it was an amazing decision. It basically took me from like 300k to 50k or something ridiculous. But this is a different beast entirely.
It's a record break. He's about to break the FPL points record. I mean, like, if you just said that at the start of the season, if you just said someone's going to break the FPL points record this season, we'd have gone Haaland, wouldn't we?
Yeah. I thought Salah was finished.
Not finished, but
I thought he was done. I thought that was it.
I thought his best FPL season has been past him. Yeah,
I thought he'd be lucky to break 200 points.
Did you? Yeah. I didn't think that. I didn't think he was going to get his the biggest score in FPL history, which he's on track to do, which is ridiculous, isn't it?
I just thought with a new manager coming in, with all the talk around him potentially moving to Saudi, with he was farmed out quite wide right last season. He's getting on a bit. There's new fresh legs in the team. I just didn't see it. Honestly I just didn't see it, and I was completely wrong. And fair enough. Two other players I wanted to mention. Dango is top of the Bournemouth mids. So if you're looking between Semenyo, who's in 28th, Kluivert in 23rd, Dango is in 13th. With some decent numbers, and Minte, interestingly, in 3rd over the last 6. I mean, that doesn't really resonate with what I've seen on the eye test. Having watched Brighton, I thought Matoma is the one who has looked a bit sharper and looked a bit more likely to make things happen. But yeah, the number of touches he's having in the box, particularly, is really high for Minte. So could be a punt if you're looking for someone.
What do you think about Savio over Foden if you're going into 29 or wildcarding in 30?
Does he definitely play?
This is it, isn't it, I suppose? Yeah, that's the trouble.
I mean, what is the strongest City 11. It's Haaland, Marmoush, Foden, Savio. I guess it probably is still Savio, isn't it?
I think so, but he hasn't. He's not as assured as Foden.
Grealish,
Sure,
Doku can all come in.
yeah, that's the thing. It's a shame, isn't it? Because he's kind of almost been someone to talk about and consider. But yeah, you probably are going to play safe if you're going in. If you're going to 29 with the free hit, it's probably going to be Foden that people go to. But I just wonder whether, if you're trying to get an edge over the free hitters with a dead end, if you're dead ending like we are, then maybe Savio is worth a punt over Foden. I mean, that's the beauty of basically knowing that people are going to free hit in 29. We can get to that. We can be sitting here with the game week 29 deadline in a few days' time and have a free hit template, and we can look at that free hit template and go, right, if we've got 2 or 3 transfers to make, we can go, right, we could actually use those transfers to go against the template, not in a crazy way, but in ways that could just give you that little bit of a chance of matching the free hit.
Yeah.
And if dead end managers match the free hit, that's a huge win, isn't it?
Yeah.
Right? Because people have then used the chip and not got any major advantage on those who haven't. So I think it's great to be in the situation where you think, well, I'm going to have 2 or 3 transfers left. I can get 11 out and I can go against the template, and the template will be pretty clear. I think it normally is, isn't it?
Yeah. I like the period where you can go just dead end your team and just bring in like random players.
Yeah. Savio's in the bracket, isn't he?
Yeah. Yeah. Well, that's what I mean. Like someone like Minte, someone like Savio, you can take a bit of a punt on these people. You can go for your double Bournemouth. You're not stuck. Not that you would be stuck in the 5th in the league or 4th in the league. Amazing, but maybe you don't want to have 2 Bournemouth players between now and the end of the season. But you might find it a bit hard to get rid of one. Lots of options. It's an interesting time. I mean, even like Ranieri, for example. I mean, there's key injuries for players. Trossard, Nkunku. These are options that we might not have from Game Week 30 because players might be coming back and. But now might be the time to get on board.
Yeah, and I also think I don't know if Ranieri is going to be popular in the free hit, because it tends to be when you play the free hit, you want to spend all the money. So I actually think Ranieri might be a player that free hitters look beyond and go to Trossard instead, because they look at it and go, do I get Ranieri and keep 5 million in the bank, or do I get Trossard and spend it? So there'll be a little bit of that, won't there? So that'll be quite interesting. Just the mentality of the free hit.
Yeah, and bleeds us nicely
and this is
onto
the comparison.
mids comparison. Yeah. Who'd you go for? We've got Ranieri, Trossard, Sterling, and the brace king said he hadn't played up front since his early teens or something ridiculous.
Yeah, it'd be interesting if he starts there in this game week. You imagine he will, and Trossard will move out, and Sterling will drop to the bench. You imagine that's how it's going to go. Trossard to the left, Merino down the middle. Not certain though, is it? So I still think that Trossard or Ranieri are the safer options if you're looking to go this week. But the beauty would be to hold on till 29 and make the move then when you know who's the better option. If I was going this week, it would be Ranieri, I think, because the data here looks good for him. Shot per 90, he's the strongest on show. Shot on target per 90, he's the strongest on show. This is over the season. I think that he's the maverick pick, and he's the way I would go. The other thing is, of course, if you go Ranieri, you're saving a lot of money, and who knows what you can do with that ahead of 29. So he's got that in his favour too. I don't think he's a flash in the pan type scenario. I think he is going to maintain his importance to that Arsenal team in this period with so many injuries, don't you?
Yeah, I mean, 17 years old, and I thought it was very telling that he came on and was on corners as well for them. Came in and got 3 bonus points despite only getting assists when Marino's come off the bench and scored a brace. And they've kept a clean sheet too, so he's done really well. The chance he's creating, the shots, he's not losing the ball and doing all the things that normally hamper someone who a winger like that on the right. So I think he's a brilliant pick, and I can't really see why you would spend 2.3 million more on Trossard.
No,
when you could get Ranieri, who just seems a bit more involved in everything that's going on.
I don't think security of start is an issue here.
No,
because
Who
there
else is
just
there
aren't
on
the
the right?
options.
They haven't got anyone
No.
else that can play on the right, have they?
No, I don't think so. Unless there's a recovery in time for 29, which would be a blow. Which makes me think I'm probably going to wait. But if I was moving
Yeah.
this week, I don't know. I mean, like I've got Rodgers, and when we look at my team, you can see I've got a little bit of a dilemma. Rodgers at home to Chelsea is an okay fixture, but I think with Villa playing midweek, with Villa playing Europe, they look a bit leggy. Also, Rodgers' role with Rashford in the team is looking different now, and his involvement is perhaps a bit further from the goal than he has been without Rashford there. I don't know. I think it's a dilemma. Well, we'll see when we get to our teams, but I think if I was going this week, it'd be Ranieri.
The thing that puts me off is look how low Arsenal are in the team data attack. Go away, Brian. I'm doing my best.
We pulled ourselves together now.
Yeah, Arsenal down in 13th, and I thought they were incredibly lifeless against Leicester for the vast majority of that game. Sterling, this is a player who's won multiple titles. He's been such
Brian's
a key
back.
man.
Look, he's got no good word to say about anybody.
Well, he's right. I think he is cooked. Funny with Cook, because sometimes you can say let them cook, which means let them do well, and then you've got cooked, which means they're not any good.
Isn't it washed rather than cooked? I don't know. Anyway,
do we speak young person these days?
Oh, you might be landline, but I'm definitely not. So.
So yeah, I don't know. It worries me a bit when I see stats like that, and losing Saka, Havertz, and Jesus all at once is a big blow for any team. Yeah, I think that's probably correct. It's strange, isn't it? I mean, is it just a complete lack of confidence? Is it system?
I think so.
Yeah.
It's a shame, isn't it? I did like him when he was at his peak, when he was always there on the far post for City. I loved him. Yeah, he was incredible, and I've had some good times with Raheem Sterling. I did a couple of seasons back thought he was there and coming back to that, but famously went with him a few seasons back when he was at Chelsea, and I thought he was coming back into form, and it didn't pay off.
Famously,
yeah.
Was that in your Greece interview?
Yeah, no, it was. I think it was when I was saying that I think Sterling's going to end up playing up front down the middle.
Yeah.
I think Chelsea had a load of injuries, didn't they? And
he got a hat trick, didn't he? Didn't he get a brace or a hat trick? And
yeah,
everyone was
and I was saying, he's back to his best, and I got him in, and it just didn't work. And he's not got any better since then.
Bloody hell! Yeah. Mark is spot on. Should be washed.
Yeah, see,
he's schooling the kids.
Stick with me. Yeah, I agree. I mean, that's the thing. But I mean, I think against the low block, Arsenal will struggle, and that's what they found against Leicester. Whereas at home this week against West Ham, I guess they will come and low block. Will Potter? Tell me more. Will Potter turn out for low block?
Does he know how to low block? Potter?
This is it. I don't know if he does.
I'm watching West Ham, and I'm trying to work out what he's trying to do. I don't really.
Well,
know.
Even though you can't work out what he's trying to do, it's still better than Lopetegui.
Yeah,
so West Ham fans are happy.
I think you're probably right there. I mean, it is. I mean, when Potter took over from Houghton, there was a big change in style, and that's putting it mildly.
Yeah.
So there's always going to be a transitional phase where it's going to take him time. I mean, he's definitely got players in the attacking positions where he can bring that in, like Paqueta and Bowen and Kudus are going to love playing under Potter because he's going to encourage really quick patterns of play, really quick transitions, and all that, which probably under Moyes and Lopetegui probably didn't do that so much. It's just the defense. I mean, I don't think either goalkeeper is what he wants. I don't think being able to play out the back, they're really capable of doing that. So I think he's stuck in the middle between wanting to play the style that is served him well at other teams and also trying to play with what he's got. And he's just kind of doing neither.
Well, it's that painful bit in Football Manager when you turn up at a new team, when you take an accepted job in Football Manager, you turn up and you think, I want to play in this way, but I've got to play with what I've got.
Or you do what Amorim is doing, where you go, I want to play in this way. I haven't got the players for it, but I'm going to do it anyway for every week.
That is crazy, isn't it? That is quite funny to watch.
I love it.
I respect for him to try and stick to it. But
watching De Ligt and Maguire play in a back three together is just it's a sight to behold, really.
And he hasn't got any wing backs still, has he? As well,
Dorgu, I'm not too sure about. at the moment. Young player, he obviously needs time, but he's been brought in and put straight in the team and doesn't look quite ready for it. I mean, I don't want to go on and bash United, but
No,
there's not a lot to say
but
about them,
Potter's not doing that, is he? Potter's trying to get something out of it.
I think so.
I guess he's trying to make sure, get them safe, and then we can have a play around with things. And I think they are safe, but he'll still want some more points on the board. So long-winded way of saying we don't think they're going to low block.
No, I don't.
Well, there you go.
I don't think so. I don't think he's that kind of manager. I think he'll still be trying to get them semi-playing the style that he wants to do. That's why he's been brought in. He's been brought in. I would get, if you're bringing in Graham Potter, you're bringing him to play his style of football.
Have a go.
Have a go. Exactly. Have a go. Which is what the fans want. So yeah, I guess you can do that.
Yeah.
We did skip straight to midfielders. I do want to touch on defenders just a bit because, like I said, it is hard to know who to get. It's good to see Trent over the last 6 rising to the top. I mean, it's a pretty crappy goal yesterday, wasn't it? Martinez should have done.
That was on target.
I suppose. I think he was a little bit fortunate. Couldn't really ask some more play. He came back from injury, got played in both the games, off of a clean sheet, and then they concede, and then scores a bit of a dodgy goal. Munoz in 4th. Obviously, they got the blank in 29, but he showed up really highly on this. You seem to be a bit cursed with Munoz, though. You seem to bench him when he returns. No.
I'll hold him probably all the way till 29, and sell him then, I'd expect. But yeah, I mean, he's. I don't know. I've got a dilemma whether to play him this week, because there's really one slot up for grabs in my team, and it's out of. There's a defensive slot up for grabs. It's either Munoz or Hall, and then it's, do I play Rodgers or do I play Chris Wood, or do I get rid of Rodgers and then bench Chris Wood? So Munoz is in the mix to be benched again away at Fulham. I think that probably is the right thing to do, because I think Fulham will score. But I still think he's a handy player to have, because you're not going to worry about playing Munoz, are you? Because he always gives you that chance of an attacking return, even when they concede.
I mean, you see it with some of the positions he takes up when he's playing basically as a centre forward. I was looking at this. It's a pretty grim list, isn't it? Like, we've been in this position before with defenders, but like when you've got Cucurella in 5th with an XGI of 0.25, Gvardiol, not too many of us looking at him. There's players like De Ligt and Chalobah. I mean, Robinson is unbelievable that Robinson has 10 assists this season. And yet, last 6 is 0.12. Over the season, he's 0.15. Not even that much higher. I mean, this is like Robertson and Trent numbers of like actual assists from years ago, whereas the underlying data is not suggesting that he shouldn't be anywhere near 10 assists with these numbers, right?
No, he's obviously he's over expectation, isn't it, in terms of the quality of the chance that he's laying on. I mean, we've said before, haven't we, that a few seasons back we thought win backs were where it was at, and it's just flattened out completely in the last few seasons. The game has changed, and I think the way that Trent has regressed is part of that. Trent isn't the XG monster he was a few seasons back. He's still at the top, but he's not breaking into the 50s like he was a few seasons back. And so, I mean, the situation has changed, and I think because of that, I think the defenders need a bit of a boost in the scoring, because clean sheets are less frequent as well. It's been a while since we did a look at that. I will dig out the data and see how we're tracking. But sitting here now, I think we're probably seeing fewer clean sheets than we were a few seasons back. So with defenders not getting regular assists outside of 1 or 2, they probably need a bit of a leg up, don't they?
Well, and the other problem is that when they do get attacking returns, if they've conceded, they're not getting anywhere near the bonus.
No.
Because they got nerfed.
Nerfed is the gaming phrase, yes. Yeah, like it, as opposed to buffed.
All good. And then forwards, basically, if you're buying a defender now, it's really hard to know who to get. I think it's
Kirkez now, and it's 8 Norway or Vardiol ahead of 29.
Where is Kirkez on this list? Is he even in the top 30 over the season?
No, he's dropped off as well.
Is he on the last 6? Is he here?
Nope.
Wow. You're not getting Kirkez for his attacking returns then. Forwards, this is what I wanted to mention. So this is is it what I was going to? No, this is it. Forwards over the season. Look at that in 30th, João Pedro.
Wow. Okay.
I mean, he's had 10 attacking returns, which isn't awful, but
Yeah, but Chris Wood's below him on the same XGI per 90, 0.38.
oh, I didn't even see
Look at
that.
that. That's crazy. Look.
I didn't
So
even see that.
the same per 90 XGI as João Pedro. Chris Wood's got 18 goals and João Pedro's got 5.
That is absolutely ridiculous. That makes me sick to my
Well,
stomach.
the reason why is look at the conversion rate.
Why has he got a
Chris Wood.
40% conversion rate?
Mamouche is beating him. Mamouche has got 42.9 so far. But yeah, I don't think
That's annoyed me even more.
I saw in the history of Opta data for the Premier League, no striker has ended the season on 35% or more. So Chris Wood is in line to
that is a stat.
Chris Wood is in line to break the record for a Premier League striker conversion rate in a single season. Not even Haaland when he had that. I think Haaland finished on about 32. And he's on course to be the highest conversion rate in a single season in Premier League history since Opta took data. And you know, he had one shot and scored at Fulham, so he keeps doing it. So
I just can't buy him with stats like that. That is unbelievable. That is.
Yeah, it must be the top conversion rate in the top 5 leagues in the world, in Europe. Surely it's got to be. I can't believe there's any striker in Europe with a higher conversion rate.
Oh, I've done everything wrong.
Yeah.
What have I done?
Yeah, it's crazy, isn't it? But Mamouche is beating him at the moment. Yeah, 42.9 with his 219 minutes. So.
Manscaped's 100% confidence.
Yeah, João Pedro has not lived up to that XGI, has he? I mean, 0.38 is not bad. What is he over the last 6, João Pedro?
It's not much better. If any better, it's worse.
No.
0.24.
Yeah, he's been bad. Yeah.
I mean, I don't think he. I mean, I seem to keep getting asked whether I think he's going to play against Southampton. My answer is he shouldn't.
No, because Rutter is playing really well. Rutter, whatever you call it.
Rutter. Yeah, he's been brilliant. He gives us everything. He gives us work rate. He's scoring goals. He's such a character as well. I absolutely love him.
Now you've got Welbeck there. The onus is not on Rutter to score the goals, but I think he's more effective in the 10 than João Pedro.
Yeah. Well, I think Pedro is a better 10 in terms of quality. The quality he's got when he's on form, but he's frustrated. You can tell he's frustrated. Well, he's been frustrated with the team's performances. He's been frustrated that he hasn't necessarily been starting every game, and you can see when he comes on, he's trying too hard to make things happen. He's dropping deep. He's going out to the left. It's like, just stay in the middle, get the ball. Try and beat a player or pass. Do what you've done for years with us, where you've been arguably one of our best ever signings. It's just not happening for him. Yeah, I don't know. Maybe they give him Southampton to give him a bit of a confidence boost, but who misses out? You can't bench Rutter or Minte at the moment. So I'd be surprised. I'd be surprised I think if you've got him, he's a pretty easy sell, which is frustrating given that we're looking quite good and we're playing Southampton. But yeah, I think it's probably time just to get rid. Mateta's top of this, 0.94.
Yeah. A few weeks back, I was talking about
good fixtures as well.
Wood or Mateta, and I said I would go Mateta over Wood. They both got 7 goals in that spell, I think.
Yeah, I said
they both done well.
I said
the answer was both. Basically.
Yeah, I said they're both good options. I was going to go for Wood, and I didn't buy either. So good.
Oh.
Classic thing with Palace. We're not really considering them too much because they've got that blank in 29.
Yeah.
Obviously, Fulham's a tough game, but Villa at home, Switch at home, going to Southampton. I mean, he's going to be popular on wildcards, isn't he, Mateta, in 30?
Have you got the long ticker there? So have a look at what the run is outside of 29. When do they come out?
Well, they go into the double, in straight into 32. So,
yeah, Southampton, Brighton, the double. I mean, I think Mateta is going to be in, isn't he, in most teams? But if you're going to go a Palace asset in the wild card in 30, you're going to, aren't you? You're going to go Mateta in 30, aren't you? For the Southampton away, and then going into the double.
So it's going to be Mateta, probably one of Haaland or Marmouche and Isak. Well, where's Wood?
Oh yeah, it's really hard to sell him, isn't it? It is to be honest. I mean, I think I'm going to hold Chris Wood probably all the way through to 20 to 30. See how he does. The thing is, you look at it: Newcastle, Arsenal, City, Ipswich. You wouldn't put it past him to score in those games, would you?
No, it's a good run from 30 for Wood, really. I mean, especially from 32. Yeah. Everton, Spurs, Brentford.
Look at the home games.
I know.
The home games are United, Everton, Brentford, Leicester. Not owning him is not easy, is
I mean,
it?
you have to go Mateta and Isak though, because they've got the double in 32. So then you've got one more spot. So it's literally
Yeah.
Haaland or Wood, really. Haaland, Marmoush or Wood.
We've been here before, haven't we? Haaland or Wood. I mean, we knew at the start of the season it would come down to that. You know, do I get Haaland or Chris Wood? We just knew that it was going to end up that way.
You know what? We're all gonna transfer out players like Wood, and they're just gonna carry on scoring
Yeah,
right to
well,
the end of the season. You just
that-
know. It's so predictable.
That would be very FBL if a lot of us wildcard in 30 or 31 and absolutely ruin our season.
Well, it can't go any worse than our wildcard in game week 6 or whatever it was when you wildcarded Haaland in and he blanked every week.
It's true though, isn't it? Because
Yeah.
the wild card is often seen as, it's the powerful chip. It's the one you've really got to make count. And that's absolutely right. But it's also 15 opportunities to make mistakes.
Oh, it's such a negative way of looking.
But it is.
I think wildcards tend to go better towards the end of the season than at the start, though, because we've got a bit more data. We know what teams are playing for things. We've got things like the doubles and stuff. So I'm a little bit more playing a wildcard in game week 6 or 7 is awful. Because you think you're getting in play. Like Diaz was like, you got to have Diaz. He's absolutely unbelievable.
Yeah.
And then he got benched like 4 games in a row.
Or you've got to have Haaland. And then what happens? He scores 2 goals in the next 11 games or something.
We'll never see a bigger. I keep saying it. We'll never see a bigger swing than that ever. I thought he was on course to get 300 points this season, and then he just is absolutely unbelievable.
Yeah, and I wildcarded and got Diaz in and got Haaland in, and both of them just dropped massively, didn't they, from that point on?
Yeah.
Still managed to rescue a decent-ish season, but God, if I'd have kept Salah and Saka for that run and not got Haaland, I'd be probably
Well, we've seen
top
your
10K now,
what if
wouldn't I?
machine, haven't we? So yeah.
Annoying. But you're right. I mean, I do look at the wild card and think could go wrong, couldn't it? Because you're right. Players like Chris Wood, who probably are going to get thrown out of a lot of teams. I mean, we haven't even talked about Kuna as well, who is top of the ticker here with Wolves.
Yeah.
Why not get him in game week 30? They've got West Ham at home, then Ipswich, and then Spurs at home. So yeah, Chris Wood probably is right down the pecking order, isn't he? Given this,
it is a really tough. I mean, I was going to say like Mateta, you can just wait until 32, but you can't really with Southampton.
No, I do think Kuna's the other one. Like, you don't have to go Haaland and Mamouche, do you?
No, but I mean, are you going to go for Haaland and Mamouche for Leicester at home when you wildcard?
Probably not.
Well, it's Isak, Mateta, and Haaland then, isn't it? It's we are going to have to sell Kunas and Woods. It is, isn't it?
That is going to be a very clear template, isn't it?
We're going. Like, it's hard to even pick a striker at the moment.
Yeah, it's not even. You can go a Palace mid really to not go Mateta. You can't really. There isn't one.
There's going to be a strong template, isn't there? I think we know that with those 3 strikers, and then elsewhere. I mean, we're going to see. I mean, midfield will be interesting. We might see people going for players like Elanga to try and cover Wood. But we're still going to have Bournemouth mids because they've got Ipswich at home in 30. I mean, Mbumo and Visser are going to be out because they've got Newcastle, Chelsea, and Arsenal. Yeah. Okay. Interesting one. Let's take a look at some predictions.
Oh, you picked the Garden Centre.
The Garden Centre game was the easiest Garden Centre game.
Well, I was going to say you picked well.
Another Friday deadline. Do you like a Friday deadline?
I don't like it really, and I'm not going to have any players unless I go Bumo in this one. But you're going to have Whistle.
No, don't call him that. Come on, we've got a rule.
I called him Bumo.
You called him Bumo.
Mbumo. How do you know I didn't I did the M and you just didn't quite catch it?
I know you didn't. I heard it.
Mbumo.
I heard it.
I could be worse. I could call him Brian, like I know him personally.
Brian annoys me less than Bumo.
Does it?
I think, but to be fair, I think it's the way it's written out. Boomoo, Bumo.
Remember that period where commentators used to go Buemo, or they used to have like 4 different pronunciations.
Yeah. I've listened to the Premier League official pronunciation of Mbumo, so now I'm on the ball.
Okay.
I think. Leicester Brentford, you're going table bonus. Assistant manager Van Nistelrooy, bring him in. 2-2.
Yeah.
2-2.
Yeah.
Leicester haven't scored in the last 5 home games.
Yeah, but Brentford are there. I mean, Brentford will give up chances, I think. Where are Brentford on the last 6 defence? They're pretty low, I imagine. Let's have a look.
Brian is we should do like a streamer of the a stream crowd of the week. I think Brian's winning it this time out.
Well, Amsbar, what we do is we pick someone from chat to pick on throughout the entire program. This week it's you.
I feel attacked. Very good.
Yeah, what's Brentford look like on the last 6 defensive data?
Oh, got a rare clean sheet, but you wish you still had Flecken in the
12.
last game.
Yeah, but look at the chances conceded per 90, 18 per game, highest there. I think Leicester can score, and Leicester's attacking data is really bad, is it? They're bottom 3, I imagine. They've never been out the bottom 3, have they? Last 6?
No,
have a look.
Don't think so. Last 6.
You got it. Why did you go no? Like you've got a guess when we've got a table.
Well, that is last 6.
Well, last 6 attack. That's defence.
Oh, sorry. Oh, I couldn't work out what you were saying. I thought you were talking about defence still.
Last 6 attack. They're second from bottom.
Yeah. And like I said, 5 games in a row without a goal at home. I mean, we said at the time we didn't really understand the appointment of Van Nistelrooy, and it's been probably worse. What I can't understand is why he's not playing Buonanotte, who was their best player before he signed.
I don't understand that either. I'm like thinking like if Leicester don't want him and Brighton are going to sell, I'll have a bit of that. I think he's a great player.
He's good.
Yeah.
Tevez described him as the next Lionel Messi.
Yeah, there you go. Carlos Tevez, was it? Or just Mr. Tevez from whatever?
Just down the road.
The Argentinian steakhouse.
Cheap, excuse me.
Yeah, I'll stick with 2-2. You've scored. You say Leicester will score, so there you go.
Yeah, I think surely they're going to get one. They're going to get a goal at some point, but I think Brentford are just a bit too good for them. I think I still rate Brentford.
Yeah, okay, all right.
Love that. Both gone for a 1-0. 1-0 Everton.
Yeah.
Classic Moyes.
United now about Ahmed and don't know. Don't look good, does it?
I've just looked at my Man City squad. I do not remember picking 3-2 for that.
I was going to say, what are you doing?
I think I've done that the wrong way round because.
Have you? Well, sorry, it's entered into the app now, so that's valid.
Can't change it. I'll stick with it.
Okay,
I should really get rid of. We should get rid of Slot. Everton. Man, where are the goals coming from with Man U? That's the main question, isn't it?
Yeah, not happening. And Everton have got form, haven't they? Now Moyes has just worked miracles there. But
do you think if Amorim lost pretty much every game between now and the end of the season, which he's on course to, right, and he finished with like a 20% win rate, will they stick with him? Yeah,
I think they will stick with him because he's a long-term option, isn't he? They're going to give him a window. So, I mean, it's very tough. I mean, that job, you need about five or six windows to sort that out, don't you? You need a long time, three or 4 seasons, I'd have thought.
It's interesting what he's doing, not in terms of the play style, in terms of he's very critical, isn't he, of the players?
Yes.
Which I don't like. I've said this many times. No. I don't like him doing that. But
it's not the modern way normally, is it? Like modern managers normally are about, it's on me, I'll take responsibility.
But
single out players.
I'd say I don't normally like it, but I do think these Man U players get away with murder, like year after year after year on these huge contracts, not putting in performances. Manager after manager comes in.
It makes Roy Keane a much better watch, though, that, doesn't it?
That's very true. Yeah, I don't know. I feel a bit. I don't know what's going to happen with Amorim. If he turns it around and actually turns around Manchester United,
it's going to take ages. I mean, to get. I don't know. I mean, maybe not. I mean, look, Forest are broken into the top 6, so it looks like we're going to stay there and make top 6, hopefully. And so maybe it can be done really overnight. But I just don't think that it's more than having better players. It's more about the spirit of that club, which, when Keane criticising them, when Neville's criticising them, that's what they're getting at. They're saying the players aren't good enough, but also they're saying the players don't really care anymore. Like you could put playing for United, and how does he get that back? That's so hard to get back. I think
you could put every player up for sale except Fernandes in that team, which is crazy when you think about the money they spent.
And we did that when we went to play United. We beat them at Old Trafford. We did that. Who from the United team gets in the Forest team? And I looked at it and thought, well, probably Bruno. and maybe Dallo at a push, but that's about it. And when you go there and you think there's not more than a couple of players that would get
Same with
in
Brighton.
our team. Yeah, most teams go there and probably comparing the 11s to go, well, who would get an hour one? Who would get an hour one from that team? Apart from Bruno and maybe one other, maybe, depending if you got a weak position.
Yeah. I know.
And then when was that ever the case? United always had 4 or 5 world-class players or top quality players, but it's just not happening now.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. Well, I mean, Ahmad's was the shining light. And losing him for the season that's it, isn't it? I think you'd see that happening. Just be like, yeah, okay, that's it. I'll check out. Let's just see it through. If it was Football Manager, I just put myself on holiday until the end of the season and and go from there. Bournemouth Wolves both gone for a Bournemouth win. I've gone for a 3-1. You've gone for a 2-1.
Yeah, I think Wolves score in every game at the moment. I think, Kuna's just fantastic. And I like Pereira. I like what he's done, actually. I like the way Wolves are playing. And they're not strong at the back. They're conceding too many goals. But I think they'll be a good watch and they'll score goals between now and the end of the season.
I think Wolves are definitely a better team than they were under O'Neill. And Southampton are arguably worse.
Yeah, I think in O'Neill's defence, I think he got to the point where he had to try and play in a pragmatic style to try and get results. The fixtures are so hard at the start of the season, and I think if he had a bit more luck with injuries and a bit more luck with the fixtures, he would still be in the job. But I do like O'Neill. I thought he was all right. Yeah, but Pereira's done well.
Southampton, Brighton. I've given us a win. Wouldn't be surprised if we drew even slightly.
Surely you win that.
You would think that so, but we played them at home and they were awful then, and we had a good 15 minutes, and then they were unlucky not to win, which is normally what happens when we play.
You are so difficult to predict, right?
I know. We've got some really, really good players now, though. Like you look around. I mean, Belabor in the middle is just absolutely unreal. You look at the depth we've got. When we've got our players fit. Bringing on Ayari, who's like a Swedish international, O'Reilly, who you were raving about at the start of the season. Hinchelwood is brilliant. He's been a massive miss for us this season. I mean, those are 4 quality midfielders for those 2 positions. I mean, you look at Matoma, you look at Welbeck and the form he's gone. You look at Ruta. I mean, we're great. We're a great team. We're a great team to watch.
Matoma's going in the summer.
You think? Who to?
Don't know. I'd like to think we'd have a go, but I think he'll leave.
He's a funny player because I could see him going to a team and obviously doing really well, like a top
team.
team.
He'll want Champions League, I think.
Yeah, like an Arsenal maybe. I think he's probably a upgrade over Martinelli, I'd say, on the left. But I could also see him going and just not really performing. We really do give him, I wouldn't say a free roll, but we do just say, look, just get the ball and just weave some magic and just do something. And he's got that one trick he does where he accelerates and squares it and all that.
He can have those games where he just does no impact.
Well, this is it. I mean,
he's in a rich vein at the moment.
I mean, you actually look at his numbers and he's not going to be a player who gets 15, 20 goal involvements a season for you. He brings a lot more on the pitch because of his work rate and his ability to get out of tight situations and things, but he would have to massively increase that output if he's going to play for a Champions League side. I just wonder who would pay, because we probably want to get about 70 or 80 million for him.
70 or 80, you think? All right.
If we sold Kukurea for 50, he's the baseline.
Yeah, well there. I can't see you getting 70 or 80. 60 maybe.
Then I don't think he'll go. I mean,
if I was going to get one or Kuna or Matoma, I'd still go Kuna for 60.
Yeah. I mean, if a big came in, I mean, we rejected 60 million from Saudi in January. I guess if a Champions League club came in, he'd maybe be putting a bit of pressure on.
Like Forest, for example. Yeah.
Oh God! If you signed Matoma, that would be devastating. Ipswich Spurs, a rare change for us. You've gone for an Ipswich win. Wow. I've gone for a Spurs 2-0. I think Spurs are all right. I think they're getting key players back. They played well against Manchester United. Got options. Tell looks decent up front.
Yeah, and they're getting players. Vicario's back in goal, but I just think Ipswich are due a result, and I think that when Spurs come to your ground, you think we can have a go at these, and I think that they'll do it.
Yep. Arsenal, West Ham, comfortable 2-0. Sorry, Graham.
Yeah.
Yep. Fulham Palace. This is what a lot of people are backing on. So I've gone for a 1-1.
Some table bonus. Okay.
Yeah. I am. There is a part of me that's tempted to roll the dice on Glasner. I probably won't do it, but I'm thinking about it. I think a draw. I just think a draw is the most likely result here.
Yeah, I don't know. I think Fulham were excellent. So
You've gone for a comfortable 2-0.
Yeah.
Villa Chelsea. That's got a draw written over it as well, isn't it? 2-2, 1-1.
Yeah, I don't think either team are playing brilliantly. Villa played well the other night against Liverpool, no doubt. This is quite a crucial game because Villa, if they can beat Chelsea, will close the gap and give themselves enough, more chance of getting top 5, top 6. Hopefully it's a draw. It'd be that a great result for Forest if it is.
Talk about a big game, Newcastle Forest.
Yeah, I'm not very optimistic.
You're not, are you? 2-1.
No,
Newcastle,
I mean the thing is though, last time we went there. I wasn't optimistic then, and we were struggling then, and we obviously won, and Chris Wood got a hat trick. So I mean,
sure, if that happens again,
I mean, he was absolutely. That was the turning point. From that point on, he just was amazing. That was the trigger. I think that was Nuno's 3rd or 4th game. He got that hat trick, and overnight just became this elite goal scorer.
Yeah, he signed. You can pinpoint the exact time he signed that deal with the devil.
It must have been
Space Jam juice.
Because the hat trick was brilliant, including one goal where he went round the defender and then chipped it over the keeper. And it was
it a perfect hat trick? Was it?
Yeah, it was
a right, left, and header.
It wasn't a header.
No. I think he has scored a perfect. I think must have happened for Burnley.
Yeah, I mean, so it's really weird sitting here thinking, yeah, I'm not optimistic, but the last time we went there, Chris Wood scored a hat trick, and we're saying that at a time when Chris Wood arguably is the most informed striker in the league. So, yeah, it's difficult, isn't it? But yeah, I think we'll get turned over. I think at the moment we're a little bit vulnerable. I do think we'll score. Yeah.
Yep. And then finally, like I said, I must have had a few beers when I made this prediction of a 3-2 City. I know what happened. I think I made that prediction before the Champions League game last night because I thought Liverpool, 2 quite tough games in a row, another away game, 3rd away game in a row. Bit tired. City big win against Newcastle. Yeah, and then I watched them play last night and I thought, oh God, they're just gonna get long balls over the top. Salah running onto them, goal. It's a shame Pep isn't getting the table bonus. Because I think this would be the one out of all the games where you would just think, okay, maybe they can turn it on and get a win here, but obviously that's not to be.
Yeah, but I just think that City are just so erratic, and when they come under pressure and when they concede 1 or 2 goals, they tend to just capitulate, don't they? So this could be like a 4-1, a 4-2, or something crazy to let Liverpool in. But I just think if Liverpool won at Villa, then they might just go there and get a point. But I think because they dropped points at Villa, Arsenal would have played on the Saturday, so they would have closed the gap. I think Arsenal are going to win. Liverpool can't go there and play. They've got to play with a handbrake off. And if you play with a handbrake off at City, I think you win. I think that's the way to beat City.
Yeah. No, I agree. Yep.
Just a comment that Jack Flash made. If Forest get Matoma, they might get 8 or 9 next time. Yeah, true. Yeah.
How do I get rid of that one? Good. Close between us. I overtook you briefly, but you're back ahead.
Yeah, it's very close, isn't it? And we're all under the 50% now, apart from Hesmo, who's at the top. There you go. It does result to that, doesn't it? The average being 50%.
That is interesting because we've done this this is the 5th year of doing this. I think we maybe it's the 4th year. But we've always been over 50%. I don't think. Yeah, but. Even 4 or 5% lower just shows that maybe this season's a little bit harder to call than other seasons.
And it shows you how difficult the assistant manager chip is to predict as well.
Absolutely.
You're going to get it right half the time, probably.
Yeah. Yep. Captain, will either of us be brave, Mark?
I'd like to think I will be. The thing is, I've just tipped Liverpool to score 3 goals. And I've tipped Bournemouth to win 2-1. So you do that, then you've got to go Salah, haven't you? I mean, Dango would be my second choice, I think. Where would you go if you weren't going Salah?
I would be very, very, very tempted by Mbumo if I had him.
Would you?
Very tempted. I think that's the one. I prefer the Mbumo punt to the Dango punt. just Dango he's a funny player to watch, and he's so erratic at times. Like you can imagine captaining him, just watching him play Wolves, and he just hits like 4 like chances past the post, and you're just like tearing your hair out. Whereas Mbumo just finds a way, doesn't he, to get returns. There's no one else really that I'd consider though. I don't know about Isak against Forest. That could be a low scoring game. I look at other Bournemouth players. I think Dango's still the best one out of the lot. Watkins potentially, if you bought him in, isn't a bad option. Looked sharp in the 2 games that we saw. Got some good players around him. But are you going to back Watkins over Salah?
No,
I don't know.
No, not for me.
Salah is just the obvious and boring choice, and it's really hard to make a case.
Yeah, but this is a week you can do it. You can go against him, I think. I think the EO will be lower this week and allow you to take that risk.
Yeah. I think I'm probably going to keep it on Salah, but
right. That's the spirit.
Yeah. Honestly, before City yesterday, I was all aboard the Dango train. Stone's getting injured as well. It's just another defensive blow for them. I mean, they're not gonna play Gundogan, so they're not gonna be as bad as they were against. How he is still starting games after the season he's had, I just don't know. Like this, are they?
The thing is as well, I look at City and look at the weaknesses they've got, and I just think Liverpool are the team equipped to punish those weaknesses the most. Like it's that the legs in midfield, Liverpool have got that with McAllister and Gravenberch and Szoboszlai. The press, if you put City under pressure at the back, they will City will try and play out, and if you put them under pressure at the back, they'll make mistakes because there's been so much change in that back four. And Liverpool are one of the best, if not the best, at pressing high.
I mean, the press of Diaz, Jota, Salah, Szoboszlai, it's just relentless, isn't it?
So I just think they're equipped to hit those frailties. City might score and probably will score, but I just think Liverpool could score multiple goals, and that's why it's so difficult to overlook Salah, who's a machine.
So boring.
I know, yeah.
So boring. Let's take a look at your team. This is how you're set up. Interesting bench.
Yeah.
Bench boost on?
No, because I haven't got a goalkeeper, but I could use a transfer and bench boost, I suppose. But Pickford, Gabriel, Hall and Timber, so the double Arsenal defence might come in handy this week at last. Do I play Hall and Wood? That's the question. I am at the moment. Palmer, Semenyo, Salah captain, Dango, Isak, Wood, Delap, and then Rodgers, Trent, Munoz. I've got a strong bench. Yeah, I've got options. So I look at that and think I don't need to make a transfer. I'll just roll it over. If I was going to make a transfer, it'd be Rodgers out to either Wanyeri or more likely something like Mbumo. And then if I did that, I'd have to not play Wood, wouldn't I?
Well, no, you'd obviously bench Delap.
You think?
Yeah. What are we talking about? I don't know where this Ipswich propaganda's come from, but
I think Ipswich score for sure. I think they definitely score.
Where's Liam Delap on the list of forwards over the last?
Well, he's above Wood.
He's 19th.
His XGI is probably above Wood.
He's not above Wood. No, Wood is 0.49 over the last six.
But he probably is above him.
Well, everyone is.
Yeah.
Delap is. Where is he? Oh, he's not even on the top 30.
No, maybe he's not in the top 30. Okay. Well, all I know is that when I look at the models, both Rate My Team and FPL View, they say play Delap. Yeah, I think so.
God, sorry. I didn't realise there's the bloody Delap fan club in the chat today.
I think Ipswich definitely score, and Ipswich, if they score, probably Delap will get. And also, he's a very good differential, isn't he? So if I'm not...
Yeah, I suppose.
I've got to play him, I think. So it would be Chris Wood I bench if I moved Rodgers out, but I think I'm likely to just go with that.
Yeah. Yeah, it looks strong. The Woods Hall thing's annoying because you could, you could play Munoz, but then you're back against the Fulham 2-0 win. So I don't really know why.
And Hall could get something in the attack, couldn't he?
Yeah, I think Munoz is more attacking, isn't he? So you might be more likely of attacking return for Munoz.
Yeah, but Fulham's defence is very strong at home. So I think I'm probably going to end up doing that and rolling, basically.
True. My team, like I said, our teams are pretty similar. I've got Pickford. I'm playing Trent. Trent, my differential against you this week. Come on, the 19 points.
You're going to play Trent over Hall, are you?
Yeah, I think so. I hadn't even considered benching Trent because it's Trent. I'm not benching him.
Yeah, okay. Could get
No, I mean, I hadn't even. Yeah, I didn't even. I was debating Hall versus Robinson. I wasn't even thinking about benching Trent.
The other thing is for Trent, he's only getting 60 minutes. So if you're going with the attacking points, he's got to get them in an hour because he's only getting 60 at the moment, isn't he? That's the thing.
God, that clean sheet felt good though when he went off at 60.
Yeah. I just don't think they're going to keep a clean sheet. But...
Very good point from Beerhan. You can't.
Oh yeah, there you go.
Can't bench boost because you've got the assistant manager trip.
On the plus side, I couldn't accidentally do it, could I? Couldn't make a complete fool of myself and play it by accident.
I've got Salah captain. I've got Palmer. I've got Gordon, who is a bit of a differential between us now. I'll be moving Ahmad to Dango, I guess, because I need to get rid of Ahmad. Yeah. I was all right with Ahmad, like having him at Everton and Leicester, but got to move him on. And then Isak Kuna, who I'm very happy to have in my team now. And Vista. So we got a couple of players.
Vista and Kuna could be really good for you.
Yeah, they could do all right. Bench isn't as
Robinson
impressive
will do all right for you, I think, as well.
Yeah, Robinson, Gordon, Kuna, Vista. I've got a couple that can hurt you.
So okay, how are you looking for 29 then at the moment? What have you got? Let me just count them up. You've got Salah, Trent.
I've got an 11, but one of those 11 would be Leif Davis with transfers.
That's all right. It's okay.
Yeah.
Oh, 11 with transfers.
11 with transfers. I would probably take a hit and bring in Elanga and play him over Davis.
Because I looked today and I can get an 11 and have a couple of free transfers left. So that means I can make a couple of vanity transfers. Ooh. So yeah, I'm in a much better spot than I thought I would be.
Yeah, nice.
I think I've got six single game week. I have 6 blankers, but obviously there's 3 transfers to go. So plus I'm rolling one this week. So I think I can get to 11 plus. Maybe it's 11 plus 1.
Well, I really need Gordon to deliver because I'm really annoyed at myself for not just doing that Gordon to Dango move, and then that meant I would have had 29. A decent team in 29 without a hit. So something from Gordon would be ideal, really, this week.
Well, could happen. I mean, he always does well against us.
Yeah,
he is up against Ola, but he normally does all right even against Ola. So yeah.
Attaboy, thank you. Close to 200 likes. If you have enjoyed this, do give us a like on the stream. Make sure you subscribe to FPL BlackBox.
It's Cunha, not Kuna.
Cunha.
Cunha.
Yeah, we always get that wrong.
Cunha. Sorry about that.
Kaku. Yeah.
Normally we're on point with our pronunciations, as you know, as a regular viewer. Yeah.
Using like little words now, little slang. On point. On fleek. That's another one.
Oh, Bradley is injured. Good point, Justin. So you're right to start Trent. He went off with what looked like a hamstring. I think it was. He pulled up, didn't he? Absolutely right, Justin. So you're right. You should get 90 out of Trent, which might change my mind actually. Now thinking of that,
you have made me. Well, I'm going the opposite way. You've made me question playing Trent, and now I'm thinking about bringing Hall in. We've gone completely the other way.
It's nice. It's a nice dilemma to have. Our benches are all right.
Yeah.
Aren't they? So
yeah.
In a good place.
If we do have any issues, then it's fine. Cool. I think that's pretty much it. I've got one super chat flagged. I think we've only had one.
I think we've got a couple. Thank you, Brian.
Love that.
We love you, really.
MVP Brian tonight for sure. Super chat from Jordan Naylard. Hi guys, I have Joel Pedro and Ahmad. I'm sorry. Slots isn't manager in play. 0.7 in the bank.
I can only apologise if Az had any contribution to having those two
I probably did for both of those players.
Yeah.
JP to Cunha and Slot to Glasner. Option 2, JP or Ahmad to another forward mid. That's a very vague option 2.
Is that for free? Is it? He's got.
I would assume so. JP to Cunha and Slot to Glasner. I don't hate that.
I would, but I mean, I don't know what he's looking like for 29, but I don't think Slot to Gazno is worth the transfer myself. So if you can do JP to Kuna and then Ahmad out to a Wanyeri or a Bournemouth mid, I'd rather do that, wouldn't you?
Yeah, I suppose so. I guess
Wanyeri for sure.
I don't really want to talk people out of like a big upside thing though in Glasner. Like imagine we say don't do it and then Glasner hits a 21 pointer and Slot loses to
it could happen
to Man City.
That's why we're in this hot seat. That's why I don't want the stress. Responsibility is on us.
I listened to a James Acaster thing about leadership, about conga lines, and saying how stressful it is being like the leader of a conga line.
And
then saying if you're in the middle and then you want to leave the conga line, actually you just end up creating a new conga line where you're the leader. Yeah, that all stressed me out. So now I'm questioning everything.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah. You're not someone who wants to lead the conga line. Well, I'll put my neck on the line and say I wouldn't use a transfer Onslaught to Glasner. It will depend on, like if you're sitting pretty for Game Week 29 and you've got, loads of transfers or your team is all set up ready and you're not a problem, then yes, I've said earlier, rolling the dice on the table bonus is worth it. If it's quite squeaky for Game Week 29, if you're looking at it going, I'm just about getting an 11, because you could get an injury between now and then as well, and then be short of a player. Then I would say you go JP to Cunha and Ahmad. Probably Cunha. Sorry, I've done it again. Sorry, Mohit. I remembered your name, Mohit, but not Cunha's.
How did you remember? Where'd you get that? That was impressive.
Mohit made the comment.
Yeah.
João Pedro to Cunha and Ahmad to Anieri would probably make more sense. And obviously, if you can go Ahmad to a Dango or an Ahmad to a Clivert, perhaps even better. So,
yeah. Again, I think that's probably what I'd be. If I'd already got Dango in place last week, I think I'd be looking at selling. I'd have to deal with Ahmad, and I probably would be moving him to Wanyeri for this one punt, because I mean he could smash it against West Ham. If Arsenal were to get 2 or 3 goals, you'd expect him to potentially be involved in all 3.
Don't! You're talking me into going Rodgers to Wanyeri, and Wanyeri.
And
I am tempted.
And then you're benching Wood.
I'm benching Wood.
I talked you out benching Wood last week. Got you extra 3 points with that master.
I don't really want to bet against Wood in any game, let alone one at St James's Park where we could do it again. So, can't do it, can I?
We should have a super chat coming in from Attaboy. He said he left one at the start of the stream. I think it was before I loaded up the chat.
One. Yeah,
have you got
see
it?
if I can find it. Well, I don't know. I can't go back that far. I don't think.
No,
so
that's
can
the
you
problem.
repost it?
I've asked that. If you could repost it, Attaboy, then that would be great.
Otherwise, we'll answer it on Twitter.
We will, yes, and in
I will, because Az doesn't.
I don't do that anymore.
Populate that app anymore, and I'm losing patience with it as well. To be fair, so,
are you? I thought you were a big fan of Elon.
And... big gammon.
big gammon. Yeah, amazing.
Brilliant.
Sorry, Attaboy. I can't see it. I did. Van Dijk or... okay, it's an easy one.
Oh.
Well, not an easy one, but an easy...
Who would you play out of those 2? Munoz.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, Van Dijk's got the set piece for it. I think Liverpool concede.
And Man City particularly bad from set pieces. I can't remember them conceding too many from...
No, Liverpool aren't really potent either from...
No,
so
I'd play Munoz. Munoz literally just plays up front at times, and if City score, you'd just be like, oh yeah, that was obvious, but you could go the whole 90.
Apparently, your partner posted a new video just now. She's trying to just drag our viewers away to her own video. Have a word, please, Az.
Smart.
I'm surprised she's not streaming from the lounge.
She should have waited. She knows that we normally do 2 hours. She should have waited a little bit more before doing it. But she has got a mention, so go check out.
Well, clever bit of marketing, you see. Yeah.
Go check out. Her video is really interesting this time. She's done like you'll like it. She's done like
this time. That's implying that her videos are never interesting. How dare you say that about your partner?
Oh yeah, you throw me under the bus there. No, you'll like it. It's like a let's walk video. She's walking around a big field.
Well, that's a good idea. Who thought of that?
Who thought of those? I know. Amazed more people aren't doing that. Well, she's stolen that idea.
Brilliant.
Lovely stuff. Thank you everyone for watching. Like I said, do like and subscribe if you haven't already.
Yeah.
You and I will probably be back next week, I guess, Mark.
We will.
Bit more of a normal schedule going forward. And enjoy Game Week 26, and we'll see you all very soon.
Yeah, it's good night for me.
Good night all.